Recording anyways. Okay, so hi, my name is Sal here. Thanks for coming on this video. I just got a really great interview today. I've got Molly. We met up in a program we went through together, and she helps a lot with mindset. I said mentioned that in my program we also do a bit of mindset, and mine is a lot more than what you think. It's 80% of the way and on getting success. So yeah, there's a couple life-changing experiences that she's helped people with. Obviously, I want to hear some stories. You don't have to tell people the names, but the kind of stuff that she's helped people with. So yeah, Molly, maybe you can run through with us where you're from, what you do, what's your background, and then we'll go through from there.
Hi, Sal. Thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm from Perth, same as you. Grew up here and always kind of been really into sort of health and fitness, and really had a desire to want to know more about the mind and people and psychology. So that was kind of where I started my journey. And yeah, recently in the last couple of years got into coaching. And yeah, so now in the field of kind of coaching in sort of bringing together like the psychology of mindset and everything around that. So
awesome. And how do you help people in like what you do? Tell us a bit more about that.
So how I kind of got into what I did was through going through a lot of stress myself. So I went through a few rough years when I was working in the corporate world, and I found that stress was kind of at the root cause of a lot of my, I guess, struggle. And when I was able to overcome stress, I realized that there was a whole nother world out there that people weren't living when they're stuck in this chronic stress. And most people today live in chronic stress, and I wanted to share my my knowledge with people in how I overcame that. And so I actually now coach, specialize in stress and getting people to be able to self-manage their stress, so to come out of it and be able to really kind of create balance in their life between their job and their personal life, and allow themselves to kind of leverage their time and energy and do the things that they want. And I find that the biggest part of my coaching is getting people to really reconnect with their purpose, and a lot of that sort of happens when we're out of chronic stress. So
awesome.
Yeah,
I like stories, right?
Sort of what I do is
Can you tell me more, like you don't have to name your clients and stuff, like what kind of like just one example of like one of your clients that you've helped recently, and what kind of problems they went through, and obviously what was the outcome of them going through the program with you?
Yeah, so I mean, I get a lot of different clients come through, but one of the main ones is dealing with kind of anxiety, lacking confidence. A big one, especially in the working, professional working environment, is lacking confidence and having that anxiety and overwhelm. So yeah, I had a client who came through, and he'd been kind of told that to go on medication for his anxiety, and he was worried he had OCD. And he was just a really structured and routine sort of personality, but because he was in chronic stress, it was sort of coming up in ways that looked a bit like OCD, and he was, really overwhelmed and had no balance. He's working around the clock and really struggled to kind of see his family, and just wasn't enjoying life really. So he went through my program, and my program's really, it's about transformation more than anything. And like you were talking about before with mindset, it's really 90% of the game is mindset, and learning how to kind of deal with what's going on in here. And I believe that everyone can kind of solve their own issues. You know, whatever's coming up for you, you can solve that if you can take control of your own thinking and thoughts, and you know, get out of your stress response, and then everything else comes from within. So he went through the program, and yeah, he had fantastic results. He was all of a sudden, you know, really getting back into his hobbies and had so much more time for himself. The anxiety was kind of a thing of the past, and really, like I said, transformative. So it was a really nice journey to watch, and as I said, kind of reconnected to his hobbies, which was the main thing, because I think he'd given them up for so long. So
that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
You sort of like got him back into a right track in life, and sort of learn to deal with his chronic stress. Can you tell us who are the people that you don't work with? I mean, there's all kinds of people around the world with stress and stuff, but is there a certain people or kind of person that you let into the program and not let into the program?
Yeah, so I tend to focus on individuals who are working professionals, you know, people who are kind of stuck in that cycle of work and not being able to get that balance and live their own life as well as work. So having that is important, but more than anything, it's those individuals who are willing to be really honest with where they're at. And so I don't work with people that just can't be completely honest with themselves and myself, and just with, you know, what's going on for them, because that's really where change starts. It starts with being really honest with your situation and how you've gotten there. So, you know, I do make that a kind of a barrier. If they can't be honest, then that has to it's a big one. And then number two is just commitment to that outcome, no matter what. You know, those individuals who they've decided 100% that they want that life and that change. And so that's so important. And then the third is kind of just those who are open-minded. So if you're not open-minded to kind of a new way, then I tend to draw the line there as well, because again, if we can't be open-minded to something new that we've not tried, then often I can't help you.
No, it's good. At least it's straight up, you know, yeah, and it's good that, you know, you have set your not barriers, but your who you can't help, and people sort of are clear about that. I think the main thing is clarity as well. So, I mean, you know, now I'm interested about your program. So tell us, like, how does your program work? How long is it for? And, you know, you mentioned a bit on like chronic stress and stuff like. So can you tell us a bit more detail about your program?
Yeah, so my program it runs for 8 weeks. And as I said, it is for individuals who are kind of in chronic stress. And like I said, most people are, and a majority of people don't even realize it. So when I take a lot of calls with people, sometimes they'll be feeling flat, or they'll be, you know, experiencing this or that in their life, and they haven't even connected to the fact that they're actually experiencing a lot of stress and they don't know it. So and a huge part of that is because of our unconscious mind, which is what I go through in my program. Is you know, your unconscious mind drives 80 to 90% of what you do on a daily basis, and that's where a lot of stress comes from, is from our patterns from childhood and you know, what's going on now. So yeah, I go into, in my program, working through teaching individuals about their unconscious mind and how that shapes a lot of their stress. We work on stress management, overcoming limiting beliefs that are keeping us kind of stuck, and not allowing the opportunities into our life that we want. And we're really working through getting clarity on where you are, where you really want to go, and the whole premise is just about putting yourself as number one. And for many people, that's a really hard thing to do, because we're so focused externally on jobs or, you know, houses or partners, and we forget about ourselves, and that's where a lot of our stress comes from. So again, it's about changing that mindset. And yeah, I do that through kind of coaching and ongoing support that really, really helps clients to get through those ups and downs and change the way that they're looking at their life and their outer circumstances.
Awesome. Oh, great. So
I hope I answered your question.
No, it does. Like, it's very good, very detailed. It's very, very you, actually. It's good. Where can people find you? I mean, how do they, if they say they want to hop on a call with you or try and find out more about yourself, like?
Yeah, well, my brand is called Mind Habitat. So you can find me on Facebook under Mind Habitat, and Instagram as well, same name. And I also have a closed group on Facebook, is The Peaceful Path to an Extraordinary Life. And that group is, you know, one where I share a lot more in-depth content, and I go live and do videos twice a week, and really, yeah, I give a lot more of information out. And yeah, so you can book a call through if you join that group, or if you want to reach out to me, Mind Habitat.
Mind Habitat. Is it mindhabitat.com.au as well? Is that your website, or?
Oh, it's www.mindhabitat.org.
Oh, .org.
That's
Okay. Mindhabitat.org.
Yeah.
And on that link, can they book a call, or is there another like URL after that? Is it mindhabitat.org/call?
You can. You just go to the coaching tab at the top, and then you can book an appointment on my website.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Molly. Really enjoyed the time today, and hopefully everyone that listens to this video interview, yeah,
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.